but it's a bride. She's getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Most important day that a lot of people feel like.
Yes.
Very special day full of love.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like they went through premarital counseling.
Yes. Yes.
So you would have thought this might have been addressed.
Well, the pastor said it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe she called out sick that day. But basically, a bride refuses to say wedding vows or the wedding vow about obeying your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, we ain't talk about that in counseling.
And the pastor said, yes, we did.
Yes, we did. But that part in the wedding vow where it says, obey your husband, she was like, nah, I'm not saying that. And it came off as like a joke. People were laughing, but she was kind of really like, nah, like,
yeah,
I'm not saying that.
And he even said, do you want me to say it again or you want to move past it? She said, yeah, let's just move past it.
Mm-hmm. And the husband was kind of like, it was like an awkward, like, okay. So my question is, first, do you think she was wrong in her wanting to go past it? I also want to know, do you think traditional wedding vows are outdated?
Mm-hmm.
And when you get married, will you do things traditionally?
First question, was she wrong for not wanting to say that in her wedding vows? I would say yes. I think it was just kind of cheesy, especially because it's your wedding, right?
Yeah.
And so in general, you should know what's happening. You are giving your officiant the guidance to how they will marry you, and or vice versa. Like if you hire an officiant, it is likely because you have witnessed them marry people before, or they walk you through like what that is going to look like when you're standing up there, just because that whole experience can be vast. Some people light candles together, some people pour sand together, some people jump the broom, some people don't. So that part is, I think, able to be fully customized before the wedding.
Yes.
So therefore, if you had an issue with that vow, perhaps you should not have opted to have the traditional vows said at your wedding.
Yes.
So if you didn't alter that, why alter it in the moment? So that's the first thing. Just logistically, you could have scrapped it pre-wedding. But then two, I think it's weird to say no to that when, if this is a person, and I'm putting myself in her shoes, which I know sometimes can be a dangerous thing to do, but if I'm putting myself in her shoes, I am marrying someone that I am okay with being obedient to. I am entering into a relationship with someone that, in general, based on how that vow is written, to love and to cherish and to obey, I am okay with that. This is a person that I trust. This is a person that I am joining my life with them. It does not mean that in a blanketed way, I will always have to go with any and every single thing that they say. But in general, when he is being obedient to God, if you're using those vows because they're spiritually based, if he is being obedient to God, then and I can be obedient to him. Like, yeah. I don't see what the big deal is. I think we get really caught up on words that sound controlling sometimes because you are placing and projecting the trauma that you know of connected to obedience. But if I say, hey, Dre, can you grab me a water? And you grab me a water, you are technically being obedient. I asked you to do something and you didn't. But I wouldn't say, hey, Dre, can you go be obedient and get me a water? Because people have made that sound like a bad thing. Very and true. I want to marry a man that, in general, I'm okay with listening to him and saying, yeah, sure, let's do that. Or, okay, babe, no problem. I also want to marry a man that understands that the vows go both ways. We are both agreeing to this, not just I'm being obedient to you, but you're not being obedient to me. So I just think that that's just weird to reject. And then your last question is, will I, when I get married, not if, when I get married, will I do things traditionally, like at my wedding with vows?
Yeah.
I think that'll be a combination because I do want to give my own vows to my husband that deviate slightly from those.
Yeah.
But in general, yes, I like the traditional vows.
Traditional vows. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that was great insight for Thank sure. You. And I want to read the definition of what it means to obey, just to give people a little context.
Yes, I love a definition.
Obey is a verb. Means to comply with a command, direction, or request. and also has to behave in accordance with a general principle. So it's like somebody requests you to do something, you do it. That's technically being obedient
Yes,
to that person.
that's it.
And it's not necessarily anything bad or
No.
mean or controlling or anything of that nature. And so my feeling about this is, number one, a lot of things that you do when it comes to weddings are ceremonial, and they're based off of tradition and how things have always been done. When it comes to being married, you don't need to say any vows to get married.
Nope.
So those words that you say when you are getting married, that's why they always say it's a commitment before God or a vow before God, because technically by the law to get married, those vows don't need to be said or committed to.
No.
You can take as many wives as you, as many lovers as you want in a marriage. That's up to you. Like, and that's one thing that Rhonda has spoke about before, is that before you enter into a relationship, you need to discuss what marriage means to you. What does that look like? What is the framework? What is the dynamic of that? So I think that her, like you said, did you call it corny, tacky?
Corny.
Corny. Okay. I think it was corny too, because it's like, truly those words, it's all ceremonial anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like, there's people who are divorced who did say that, you know what I'm saying? And there's people who are still married who did, like, so it's like, just keep going with the thing. I do. Yes, yes, yes. Cool. It's not like if your husband asks you to do something, you like, well, you know, I didn't commit to that when we got married. So I ain't got to do it, 'cause I said I wouldn't do it. And it's like, that's just so cheesy.
And the vows don't encompass every single facet of a relationship.
No.
It doesn't.
No.